What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 99 of Two Dudes of Sports News. As always, my name is Garrett, and here with my co-host.
What it do? What it do? It is Jalen Prince. Also, shout out to my dog Tyler Johnson. Did a tremendous job at helping us out with our intro video. Just debuted it today. Glad to finally get it out. Can't wait to continue to do good business with him in the future. So really, shout out to Tyler Johnson. Please go follow him. I will send a link probably around at the end of the show. But in the meantime, please. Yeah, but in the meantime, please follow us on all our social media platforms, Twitter, TikTok. We will get back more active on TikTok, Facebook, and as well as our YouTube
We're on Blue
page
Sky
as well. I don't know what
We're
Blue
on Blue
Sky
Sky
is.
too. Twitter clone. Same thing. We're on Blue Sky too.
Oh, that's called Threads.
There's a few of them. We're not on Threads. We're not on Threads, but we're on Blue Sky. So there are at TDSN Pod on all of those things. That is at TDSN Pod, POD.
Yeah, like
all that. Right, man.
I know about Thread. Yeah.
There you go. All right, well, let's get right into it, man. We talked about this a little bit Sunday night. And then we see as a Jaguars fan, I see a article coming across, or like I guess an alert saying that there's a press conference at 1:45 today. So we're all getting excited. All the Jags fans are all like, this is it. This is happening. It's it. For those who live under a rock and didn't see the Lions absolutely bully us 52-6 for the worst loss in franchise history.
Yeah.
They scored every single drive.
Every drive.
7 touchdowns and a field goal. They had 8 drives and 8 scores.
Oh, they had a box score. Like they showed the box score, and it went TD, 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 TD. It didn't matter the yards. I think the average amount of yards that they did against that defense of yours had an average of at least about 91 or like either 89 or 91 on average.
The team gave up. It's clear as that. And I mean, I think so. If it was ever apparent, there's two things that if it was ever more apparent right now, it is the fact that Doug has lost this locker room. Well, we'll say 3 things. Doug has lost the locker room. The coaching staff can't coach their way out of a wet paper bag. And it ain't Trevor's fault. What have I been saying for the last 3 freaking years, Jalen? It is not Trevor's fault. I want to shout out the Ryan Michael on Twitter. He has a stat line for me that I absolutely love. The Jaguars, do you want to guess the all-time record for the Jaguars when Trevor Lawrence's PR drops below 90, his passer rating?
Talk to me.
3-29. Meaning this man has to play a dang near perfect game for us to win.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I know another guy that has to do that as well. But like a lot of people want to be able to shift blame away from him, but we'll get into that a little bit later on.
To me, it's not Trevor's fault. Trevor has never put up stat lines this bad. Trevor has never gotten beat this bad. Even in Buffalo, we didn't lose by 40-something. I think we scored twice. That's still not, great. That's not something to hang your hat on. But I don't necessarily blame Mac either. To me, this shows, the difference between Mac and Trevor and why Trevor was taken first overall, why Trevor is still a starter in this league, and why Trevor got paid. But it also shows the incompetency of this coaching staff and what this man has to do to succeed in any capacity. It's incredible to me. So, but his press conference happens. We're all waiting. It all happens. Nothing happens. Doug has not been fired. Sherwood Taylor, and for those who don't know, I call this man Sherwood because this man, nicknames are earned and not given. So until you have earned the nickname, I will call you by your government. Your government is Sherwood Taylor, not Press Taylor. Your name is Sherwood.
It's not Sherman.
Sherman
Taylor.
I'm not swinging to that. But to me, you have a situation to where it's an archaic offense. The defense is running hockey rotations. Please tell me why Josh Allen had almost the least amount of snaps on defense this week. because I can't find one. I don't know why we're running hockey rotations on the defensive line. I don't know why we're running. I don't know why we're doing anything we're doing. It doesn't make any sense. The only consistencies we have are Cam Little, Logan Cook, and Ross Matzik or Matisic. However, Ross. I'm sorry I butchered your last name, man. I love you, but our special teams the only things that we have that are worth a damn at this point. Because the defense, I don't understand what the rest of them are doing. It's insane to me. But this man has not been fired yet, and we all thought it would happen. It still might happen. I think the most Shadcod thing would do is to let the man answer questions of the media, which they had this man in a blender all day, and it was beautiful. I had to watch highlights later. I couldn't watch the whole thing. It was just frustrating me. But
I was able to see the whole thing. Bro, I know you got bullied and it wasn't close.
no, I'm not. I'm talking about the
However,
press conference.
I know you're talking about the press conference. I'm talking about Cavante Turpin just scored. So shout out to them. That was a good sign. But I'm talking about more so on the Lions, dog. They're just a fun bunch to watch, man. To see Sonic and Knuckles,
I like the Lions.
get like Gibbs and Montgomery having fun, watching that offensive line, watching seeing what Ben Johnson does with that team. Jared Goff, he's in the MVP conversation, but like after that 5 interception game, like we even talked about that in Sports After Dark. Heavy mentioned this, dog. We've never seen an MVP ever have a 5 interception game, so he's not going to
No.
win it. But
Oh God, no.
still having a great season. They're Dan Campbell having a good year. Going to be a Coach of the Year candidate, but he ain't going to get it over Mike Tomlin. But the defense is just playing a lot better. Dog, the Lions went into the offseason and got the one thing that they needed. Got the one thing that they needed to address, and that was their secondary.
Mhm.
Their secondary got better. Yes,
Yeah.
it had growing pains, but all things take time to become great. But they fixed their secondary.
Right.
To Teron Arnold, but like Branch has been there. Brian Branch has been there, but like the year Carl Joseph is Corey Joseph is having, or Carl Joseph, Carlton Davis is having a good year. They're just playing really good football in all phases, man. Like I think they're the only elite team as a unit in the NFL. Definitely in the NFC. But it's just they're a fun bunch to watch, man. Even
They
when they
are.
get blowouts, they're fun to watch.
They are. I like the Lions. I really do. It's one of those things to me where they're a good team. It's a team, and maybe that's why I like them because I resonate with them as a team that has been down for so long. And then you start to see some success. To me, I don't think that could happen to a better fan base. I'm happy the Lions are doing well. I really am. And it's just interesting to see how this all goes. But we can move on from this, man. I need this man fired at the end of the year. So far I don't owe my girlfriend's dad a bottle of liquor because he didn't get fired today. So Bruce, I don't owe you anything yet. He gets fired this week. I'll pay up. I don't think he will. But let's move on from this, man. Your Seahawks pulled something out.
Yeah, you see it on the ticker.
There you are.
You see it on the ticker. For the first time in 3 years, we finally got it done. We finally get that big
There you
minor
go.
that big minor off our back. And I went on Sports After Dark. My emotions were slightly checked, mainly only because like I knew what the deal was. But I was happy that we finally got it done. And boy, it felt good to see. It felt good to get that win. I'm happy for I'm happy for Gino.
For sure.
Gino played really well. Threw for 221 yards. He had the game winning rushing touchdown. He earned it, every single bit of it. I've been shaky about him for the longest. I understand his limitations. I understand just who he is, but all you can do is just like continue to fight and show up, and that's what this team did, and that's one of the things that I'm most happy about. We got Lucas back. The offensive line slightly improved.
Right.
Yeah, Nick Bosa got hurt late in the season, but that's been of the story of the Niners all year. The injury bug came back to haunt them again. And I'm just glad we got the dub. Like, I'll take it any way we can get it. Geno
It can
showed
be
up.
two.
Our
It can
defense
be two to
played
three,
lights out.
man.
Think about this. Purdy got majority of his first downs coming from rushing, mainly mainly on scrambles. So respect to him on that. But at the same time, it's like we were able to hold things down within the secondary. Jawan Jennings, he was a leading receiver. He had 91 yards, and he had I think and he had a touchdown. So he did what he was supposed to do. But at the same time, our defense was flying all over the field. We wasn't allowing a whole lot of rushing yards, albeit we did give up 131 rushing. But Christian McCaffrey was a non-factor in this game, and he tends to be that. George Kittle, he did not play in this game, and he usually has a lot of good games against us. But I'm just glad we finally got this win, and we're 5-5. The NFC West is a gauntlet right now. Like, we're all fighting for that division to be able to get that playoff spot. But I'm glad we got the win. We're not completely out of it. But my expectations are checked. But we're very much in the mix of getting this division. And once you get division, the rest will take care of itself.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, y'all played a good game. I wish Kittle played. That helped my fantasy team, but it is what it is. I mean, that.
I wish Laporta would have played.
Yeah, that's fair too. If we gripe about it all the time, these players don't care about our fantasy stats, and anybody who thinks they do, shut up.
Nah.
The only one I've ever seen care about a stat or fantasy or parlay or anything was LeBron. Did you see that the other day?
Nah,
he had a fan scream out, "I need one more," so LeBron got one more rebound.
Hey, salute to him.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Hey, but like, shout out my Seahawks. Be able to get it done. We got the Cardinals this week. This is our first matchup against them. Mind you, when we did the Sports After Dark, stated the division, I said we're gonna sweep the Cardinals. Obviously, that's gonna be hard, but the Cardinals are not unbeatable. They're having a really good year. Kyler is doing his thing. He's a dark horse MVP candidate, where people want to believe it or not. He is. He's been balling out. You got to watch out for Maserati Marv, who to me has the best nickname in football right now. But hey, we'll see. We'll see this Sunday. There was another big game that went on again, and we're not talking about the Bills and Chiefs yet. We're talking about the ultimate rivalry within the NFL.
The ultimate rivalry? I don't know about ultimate rivalry. I don't know if I'll go there.
Bro, like, think about this. Every time that the Steelers and the Ravens play, it's always a dogfight.
I mean,
and
that's an AFC North game.
Calling it a dogfight might be insulting for what these jokers do.
That's just an AFC North game, though. Out Cleveland
excluded.
No, it's
different with the Steelers and Ravens. You think about the history. Ravens, Ray Lewis, T. Sizzle, Ed Reed, Steelers, Troy Polamalu, James Harrison. Like, the list goes on, man. They have had battles after battles, fights after fights, and this year wasn't no different. It was ugly. Like, if anybody ever thinks that this matchup between the Steelers and the Ravens was boring, yes, it ended 18-15. But if anybody thought this game was boring, you are sadly mistaken. It was entertaining.
Hey, what up, Jim?
It was absolutely entertaining to me, because you had defense, you had some glimpses of offense, you had special teams, good and bad. This football game gave everything, and it did live up to the hype. And plus, you had scuffles. You had, like, guys getting them on the face. You had enough content to be able to make another hype video going into the next time when they got to go to Baltimore. And the fans were into it every step of the way. So, like, that game was entertaining to me. I'm happy for Russ, because he's still undefeated, and he's showing that, like, Mike Tomlin has made the right choice. Mike Tomlin's winning. Mike Tomlin's winning Coach of the Year.
He might.
He's winning Coach of the Year.
Jim in the comments, go check him out at Fan of the Van and Steel and Teal and Cigar and Sports and all that fun stuff. Said it was an ugly win. Lucky to win with just field goals, but you got to put up 6 when the opportunity presents itself. Absolutely. I mean, Jalen, you said the same thing about the Seahawks and the Niners. And I'll say it about anything. The game could be 3-2. A win is a win is a win is a win is a win. I don't care what the score is. As long as I got one more point than that other team, I'll take the win. It could be ugly. It could be a beautiful game. It could be anything in between. As long as we win, I don't care. I don't care how. A win is a win.
Here's my thing about that. There were a lot of people since yesterday and today want to throw a hypothetical saying if Justin Tucker would have made those field goals, Ravens would have won. Well, if the Steelers would have got like maybe maybe a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, or would have scored that touchdown rather than that interception in the end zone, Steelers would have won by even more. There's a lot of hypotheticals to go around. Don't get it twisted now. Ravens had opportunities, but here's the biggest thing. Dog, Derrick Henry ran for 13 carries and 69 yards. Knowing the year and the pace that he's on, I get Saquon Barkley has been sensational this year, but everything started with King Henry, especially on what he was doing. And I think I'm not sure if he's still on pace to get about 2,000 yards, but I do believe that he's still on. He's still gonna be. You're talking about a future Hall of Famer. You got to feed him. Every analyst said you got to feed King Henry. He's built for games like this. He's built for nasty games like this. He's built for physical games like this. And you got to be able to live with the 2-yard carries, the 3-yard carries, the 2-yard carries, the 1-yard carry, positive yards. You have to live with that. And the moment that you can live with that, it's only a matter of time before he gets going in that third quarter after he's gotten about 15 to 20 carries. He's going to get it going. And then they stop that. Now, I will give credit goes out to the Steelers defense. They got the best defensive player in the football in TJ Watt.
Absolutely.
Last year. They got the defensive player of the year in TJ Watt. And what
last year.
They filled up the gaps and they made it hard for them to keep trying to run the football. Because people always wonder why Lamar Jackson can't beat the Steelers. Because they got TJ Watt, they have Casey Hayward, they have a culture that does not fall for all the hype of the Ravens and the magic of Lamar Jackson. They respect Lamar Jackson enough to follow the scout report and the game plan to go against them to be able to go and get the job done, and they've done it every single time. They don't talk trash to him. They just go out and play him, and then it just slowly.
They do the same thing the Chiefs did last year. They force him to beat them with his arm,
and he's capable of doing it. I mean, dog, think about this. All of his incompletions have either been drops, a few missed throws, and tip balls. Hayward had one, 94 had one, Lowry, but it's always going to be that. But
and here's if I'm a coach, a defensive coach, I have to choose how this guy is going to beat me. Yep. Or, I would rather force him to beat me with the weaker part of his game and take away the stronger part than vice versa. That's not to say Lamar can't throw the ball. Lamar is.
We're not saying that at all.
There's a reason he's an NFL quarterback.
There's a reason why he's on pace for his 3rd MVP.
Yes, there's a reason he got his contract. There's a reason he's still playing in the league. There's a reason he was drafted to play in the league. There's a reason he's a starting quarterback since he came into the league. He can throw the ball. However, he is a better runner at this point than he is a passer, and that is a more dynamic part of his game that if you can take that away and force him to turn into a drop back passer, I would rather take my chances with that. He is still very capable of beating you through the air.
Yep.
But if I have to choose how I want to have him try to beat me, it's through the air, not on the ground.
Dog, the streak is over.
Which streak? That streak.
Yeah, the streak is over.
Oh, it's amazing. It's. I'm going to be honest. I'll let you take this one away. I didn't watch this game.
I watched the game.
I was running around running errands. You take this one away because I didn't watch it.
Josh Allen took the MVP lead after this game.
Okay.
The moment, the opponent, and the situation. Allen had to make every play especially when you know you're not going to stop Mahomes and company all game. You're not going to stop them because Mahomes ended up finding a way. He threw them 2 picks. Obviously, the last one was a late heave, either here or there. But I got to give Sean McDermott credit. 196 yards passing on Mahomes. Good job on your part. Mahomes is always going to find a way to get his. But for
Absolutely.
Josh Allen, he had to get every single thing that he got.
Hmm?
262 yards had to get him. Throws that were money throws over to Amari Cooper that were huge first downs. And I think somebody even talked about this. Stephon Diggs wouldn't have made those catches. I don't really know about that one, but like, hey, Coop made those catches. And they just kept like slowly chopping down that defense, slowly keep finding ways to wear it down, slowly get to and like get opportunities after opportunities and take advantage of opportunities. That touchdown with Josh Allen on a 27-yard touchdown run. That's what took him. That to me, that's what took him to get the lead in against the Chiefs.
For
And
sure.
you got to give credit out to Buffalo. You got to give credit out to Sean McDermott. Buffalo's a tough bunch. Now, Allen, he's never won an MVP, but I don't think he cares. He wants
Now,
to get Mahomes in January,
you
and
know who
that's what
does care?
matters.
You know who
For
does care about
quarterbacks
MVPs?
like Mahomes, Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen, you care about getting to February. You care about January, but you're trying to get to February, and that's what matters to him. Now, this was a good win, but if they meet each other in the playoffs, I'm still picking the Chiefs until they show me that they could beat them in January.
That's fair. And I mean, to me, it's good to have a leader who doesn't care about the me awards, he cares about the team awards. So MVP is great for legacy, but so is a ring. So is Lombardi, so is all these team awards. That is so much better for legacy and so much better for everybody, in my opinion. And I think we have one more game we wanted to talk about, right?
Oh yeah, we got one more.
What was it? The quarterback who who cares more about rings than he does? Nope, different one.
No.
Shot at Rodgers. I'll take shots at Rodgers all day.
Why would we talking about that? We talking about good games.
Because they're bums, and I told them they would be bums for 2 years, and I've
but
been
it's
correct.
also going against the Colts, though.
I told them they'd be bums, and they've been bums. But let's talk about the Chargers and the Bengals. I refuse to apologize to Quentin Johnson. I don't owe him anything yet. Herbert, I might owe Herbert an apology. And he got it together, he got it done, and he showed me the thing that I always had against him, was this ability to close out when the spotlight was as bright as humanly possible. And he did.
Was there a moment that you felt like they was going to blow it?
Oh, yeah. I've watched him blow a 27-point lead before.
Bro, like there were so many people. No, there were so many people that kept like there was like the flashbacks are about to hit those Chargers fans really bad.
Oh yeah, I watched him do it. I was like, are they really about to do this again? Are they really about to do this again?
It felt like they were about to do it again.
It really did. Joe Burrow went absolute fucking sorry. He went absolutely insane.
27. He scored 21 points in the second half. He came back to tie it up.
He balled out. He did great. And it's one of those things where at that point, and they had their injuries. They had their issues, but injuries aren't necessarily an excuse to lose a game. Just like the refs aren't an excuse to lose a game. Just like jet lag isn't an excuse to lose the game. It is what it is.
We had jet lag.
I've heard it before. Not from this game, but I've heard it from other games before. Where especially London games, where it's like, oh, we had, we flew over a few days ago. Like, I mean, that's your fault, not mine, not the team's fault. You booked your own flight. You telling me you chose to fly over Friday night for a Sunday game? That seems like your issue. But it's the field doesn't matter. The refs, I mean, it all plays a factor. But at the end of the day, if you're the better team will win. And if you did not do enough to win, it is what it is. And the Bengals did everything they could. If they'd had a better first half, then they would have won this game. Easily.
But you could say that you could say that about a lot of times with them jokers. If
Absolutely.
they would have had better first halves, they would have won the game. That first half, dog, I think oh, that first half, you had dog, they had 6 in the first half.
Yeah. McConkey absolutely cooked Hilton on that
Oh,
stop and go.
McConkey was balling, man. He looked like Wes
McConkey
Welker.
did fine. Yeah.
He looked like Wes Welker, and not because he's short and white.
Ooh, we'll get to that. Someone saying Travis Hunter for Heisman. We'll get to that. But to me, it's we'll talk about Travis. Don't worry. But it's one of those things with the Bengals. It's been their issue all year. Is this getting off to a slow start and not being able to overcome it. So until they can play a complete game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, I don't see them turning this whole thing around. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the games that they've won this year, they have played a complete 4 quarters, or at least 3 out of 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I admittedly haven't watched a ton of Bengals games this year. I've been too miserable after my Jaguars games. Oh, it's crazy. So, all right, man. What else we got going on? We got some NFL news done.
Got to stay on that. I got to stay on that one because we got to talk about something.
Yeah, yes, they did.
Joe Burrow on the season, and I'm trying to get these stats in as we talk about this. There's been a common debate on who's to blame for the Bengals this season. Obviously, the buck starts with the head coach, then you go to the organization, and obviously it's the defense. We know the defense is a problem. We completely understand that. Joe Burrow does have to hold some of that weight as well.
He does.
And it's not idiotic to say that. It's very, very reasonable and realistic because here's the reason why. If Joe Burrow was a B tier type quarterback, if he was a C tier type quarterback, you put up the stats that he's doing, you say like he's having a good year. Or like, not really much you could really bolster on about. If this was anybody else, you would have a lot more sympathy for it, and people do have sympathy for him this season. My concern is like you got to hold some accountability on him as well. This is the reason. We know the defense is bad. The organization did not fix it the offseason. They didn't address it the offseason. They didn't fix it during the season. Your defense is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it now. You just hope and pray that they can find a way to get some turnovers and get some stops as the games go on. But if you know that about your defense, then if you're Joe Burrow and you don't have a run game, you got to find a way. You have to find a way. Remember earlier you said Trevor Lawrence has to play perfect football?
Nearly, yeah.
Like somebody said, I think I was on the YouTube comments, Joe Burrow has been playing above and beyond, and he has, and it's gotten him 4-7. He's got to play. He's got to be Buzz Lightyear. He's got to play infinity and beyond.
Absolutely.
In order for them to win, he has to. It's not fair. It ain't right, but that's the business of it. That's where the criticism from me comes in. He has to play perfect. If he makes a mistake, they're going to lose. Because every game that the Bengals play this season has been on him. And he has shown up, but not enough to be able to win. He's got to be infinity and beyond for them to win their games when they go against really good teams. And the Patriots. If he doesn't do that, there's nothing and absolutely nothing that they can do to win any of those games. They're going to lose. He has to play infinity and beyond. He can't play perfect. He can't play amazing. He can't play great. He's got to play all of the above. It's not fair. But that's the business of football because the same criticism. Because if he was doing this, all of this, if he was doing all of this, We will be giving him praise. He will be an MVP candidate, yada, yada. But also think about the years that we would give credit to, like quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and all this other stuff, and they will be escaping blame. We can't do that. Because if this was Lamar Jackson putting up if this was Russ when he was with the Seahawks, if this was Cam Newton, if they were putting up the numbers that they have been doing this year, that like Joe Burrow's doing this year, and they're losing, a lot of people up and down would be criticizing them down to the fullest. I'm keeping the same energy for everybody, and yes, I'm a Bama fan. I don't like LSU, but Joe Burrow's earned my respect. I give him his credit because Joe Burrow's always he's gonna be a top 5 quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback still, no matter what. He's a top 5 quarterback. I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm saying his criticism is warranted if you said he didn't do enough. Because by his standards, by his greatness, by his talent, by his psychological ability, by his status, 4-7 is unacceptable, and there's no excuses for it. Yes, the obvious is the defense, but he's got to play better. He's got to play even better than what he's doing now. He's got to play infinity and beyond. That's where the criticism lies for me.
You just went preacher on me right there. That was I love it. I love it. But you're not wrong. But to me, this is why, and I want to touch on a couple comments too before we keep going. To me, like
if you say the same line that I think you're about to say,
I don't know. But to me, what I think is this is why I keep trying to tell people wins are not a true quarterback stat.
I know you was gonna say that.
They are responsible for, I'd say, 50 to 60% of it. But they don't play all.
I say 60, 70 because we give them a lot of credit for a lot of those wins.
I'll go 50. I go 50, 60. The reason why I say 50, 60 is because they don't touch the defense. And that's half the other side of the ball. They don't kick the ball. They don't snap the ball. They don't hold the ball in some cases. Carson Beck, you hold it. But they don't kick the ball. They don't snap the ball. They don't block for themselves. There's a lot of facets of the game they don't do. But the offensive production most of the time lies on the ability of the quarterback to drive the team downfield. But he cannot play defense. So you can't fully blame the quarterback for a loss, unless, of course, it's an insane. I've done it before. Jalen in the comments, I will absolutely say that bad throw at the end where Nakobe Dean picked off the pass that we threw into the corner of the end zone was absolutely on Trevor, for sure. There are times when a quarterback can lose you the game, but there are also times they can win you the game. There's also times they're playing great, and it doesn't matter because the defense can't get it done.
Dude,
that's where it is to me.
Why did the Niners lose to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago?
2 years ago, no quarterback. I know. Again, it's not fully on the quarterback. It's
what's the problem with the Giants?
Where do you want to start?
Where
do you want to start? There's a few.
Start with the main one. I would say they don't got talent.
That's not what I'm saying. I would say bad offensive line, quarterback who
offensive line's actually been better. Actually, this year their offensive line ain't been as bad.
Better than last year's not saying much.
That's why I said
that's not saying much. That
I understand that's not saying as much, but dog. But here's the thing: you get Malik
when the bar is an inch off the ground,
bro. But how many times have we been saying Jones is not good?
Oh, he's garbage.
Not that good.
He's hot garbage.
What's the problem with the Jets?
Where do you want to start? Again, quarterback can help a lot of teams, but the quarterback is not solely responsible for a win or a loss, and that's my only point.
It might not be solely, but it's a big majority.
This is why
it has a lot of stock.
This is why I don't feel wins are a quarterback stat. There's too many variables involved that they can't control. That's just me. But we can move on.
No, but there's a lot of variables that you can avoid.
For sure. But again,
that's because of the quarterback.
Only on honestly, not even full half of the football. Because special teams is a factor as well. Quarterback can control special teams.
That is true. I give you that. The Bears are prime reason. The Bears are a reason for that.
That man said to his punter, "You will not be punting that much this year." And I
Oh,
think he has more punting yards than Caleb has passing yards.
by the way, did you hear what Justin Tucker said at the end of the game?
No.
He said the kicking surface was not good. Justin
Have you
Tucker,
never
bro, you
played?
the greatest kick. To me, you are the greatest kicker of all time. How the heck you gonna say that?
Not anymore. That's Eddie Pinheiro. Eddie Pinheiro, shout out Florida great. Eddie Pinheiro is now the most accurate kicker of all time.
But all right, but dog, you already know.
I'm bringing up numbers.
Wins are a quarterback stat because
No.
they
No.
they get the most credit. They barely get the blame. And if it only takes about a few plays, and they got to be able to get the job done. If you ain't got that guy, you're not gonna win a whole lot of games. We've seen a lot of teams have all-time great defenses, especially now more than ever, because it is quarterback based. It is a passing game. If you don't have that guy behind the center and he can't be able to get it done at a consistent rate, or they're not at that top level,
Are wins a point guard stat?
win.
Are wins a shooting guard stat? Or wins a center stat? Or wins a small forward stat? Or wins a power forward stat?
Wins is the best player stat. And
See,
majority of the time, it has to be the quarterback.
Not in the majority of the see, this is where we're gonna have to disagree on that. I think there's too many variables involved for it to lie solely on the quarterback.
Let's do it like this. Remember, Jared Goff was part of the Rams, right?
He was.
He did help. He did quote unquote help the Rams get to a Super Bowl. Obviously, they had one of the greatest defensive players of all time.
They did.
But he did help the Rams get to a Super Bowl. And he didn't win it, but the other guy across from him did. And both of them did not play the best, but you just needed one of them to show up. One of them to make that drive. One of them to make that play. All right, fast forward to when the Rams did win the Super Bowl. Was that quarterback that got him to the last Super Bowl there?
No.
Yeah, they got another one.
Was that defensive player?
Yeah, same defense.
So
same defense, same team. You switch the quarterback.
But you don't think maybe it's on at that point? You don't think maybe if wins go to the best player, then wins would be an Aaron Donald stat at that point for.
Aaron Donald was one of the main reasons. I'm not
I
saying
agree.
they're the sole reason. They're a big majority.
I understand, but at that point, to me, unless you are the sole reason, wins are not a individual stat. Wins are a team stat. That's where I'm at with this.
Individual stat, team stat, but either way, you're not going to be able to win without them.
You can get by
with credit because by the time it gets late in that game, you need your quarterback to be able to get it done.
Man, we could argue this all night, but we got to keep rolling.
Yep.
we can argue this all night. We can keep rolling.
You got to learn, bro. At some time, because we're seeing that with Georgia Southern.
Let's get right into it. What a transition. Let's do it, man. What is happening? I tweeted it out.
We're trying to figure that out.
I would love to know. Isaac Walker, you have the chance. Isaac Walker or Dexter Williams. Either one of you guys, if you want to come on and tell your side, this is an open invitation. If you can, or if you want to. If you don't want to, and you want to tell us something off the record, please reach out. I just want to know. I just want to know what's happening.
Bro, we got 2 games left in the college football season before postseason starts. We just had to win out. We had Troy, Coastal this weekend, and then we got Crap State. We could
beat Coastal and Crap. We could still do it, and we could still beat, because what helped us was we have the tiebreaker over James Madison. Madison beat ODU. So if we win out, if we win out in one loss, we still got it.
Where does Marshall fit in that?
We have the tiebreaker for Marshall. We beat Marshall.
Yeah, how did we get that tiebreaker?
With that,
because we very much should have lost that game.
I understand. I'm not saying it ain't because of Dexter, because Dexter absolutely came through to me. But to me, it's right now we have the hand that we have. Could it have been different? Absolutely. Should it have been different?
Oh, probably. Yes.
but we're past it at this point. To me, this is more of an indictment on the coaching staff on not being able to prepare on a short week or a bye week. Short week, I'll give you, but you can't prepare when you have 2 freaking weeks. You can't prepare for a 2-7 team when you have 2 weeks.
Bro,
come on now.
I love my Eagles.
I do too. Look at the flag behind me. Look at the hat on my head.
You and me, we bleed blue and white.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes dirty gold. We were there.
Yeah.
Through the good and the bad and the Tyson Summers. This is not
Shout out Coach Lunsford, man. By the way, Coach Lunsford might be the interim head coach for FAU.
Oh, it's already official.
Oh, it's official now. I'm gonna tweet out a Coach. Congrats for Coach, man. That's great.
Dog, this is hurting me because we got a good recruiting class coming in next year. Okay,
mm-hmm. Clay's not leaving.
The opportunity right now. We have an opportunity right now to get to a Sun Belt championship, and we're wasting opportunities. And we had 2 times where we was about to waste more opportunities, but it took one guy that got the same name of a short dude and a short animated dude with a lab, and then the same of another guy of a serial killer. Either way, he got the job done.
What?
They chose the Frenchman.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I felt like after the South Alabama game, let it ride. Just ride the laboratory.
For sure. That has been Clay's biggest downfall. His entire coaching career is refusing to ride the hot hand.
He let Bryn out to.
I know. He trotted him out for an entire season. I was there.
I don't dislike Clay Helton because the stuff that he did when he came into Georgia Southern, I will always be grateful for.
Absolutely.
But you got to make right business decisions, and I have not been seeing that. But
speaking of which, Marshall has Old Dominion and James Madison coming up on the schedule. They lose one of those games, and we win out. We're in.
We're in. But we also had another opportunity to be able to get to. We also had another golden opportunity. We could have hosted, man.
We could have. We're not.
But anyway, look. Shout out Alabama. We got a job done against Mercer. We got to go to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's gonna be a tough team. They're gonna be. They got a tough defense. We got to be able to handle business. We went out. Look. We take care of business. We'll let the chips fall where they may. But this message is for my Bama fans now. I already sent a Georgia Southern, I love you. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We just got to be more patient. That's what we got to do. But the opportunity is there. Now let me get to Alabama. This is strictly for my fan bases. Because I ain't got to worry about the players having this mindset. The fact that we're having a conversation right now in the state of Alabama on this conversation, grown adults, other than that other school, adults, dogs, competition. We're having a conversation, and Lane Kiffin, like On3 reported this early, tweeted out this earlier that Lane Kiffin had a conversation with other coaches in the SEC that don't want to make the SEC championship. That better not be Bama, because I already got fan bases that got a problem with this. This thing is ticking me off. We're really having the thought, asking, do we want to be in the SEC championship? The fact that that's becoming a thought is disappointing. The answer is always yes. We are Alabama. Want to be in the championship game. We haven't lost the SEC championship game since Florida had Tebow.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're questioning whether we want to be in the SEC championship game or not. I know I'm going to get a noise complaint. I don't care right now.
It's 8:30, man.
We're Alabama. Right. We got dogs. We ain't afraid of nobody. We don't run from the smoke. We are the smoke. I don't care if it's Texas. I don't care if it's A&M. I don't care if it's I don't care who it is. We will see you wherever. And we're talking about, what if we lose the SEC championship? Then we don't get in. We shouldn't. We shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
The standard of Alabama is success, excellence, and you win. Everywhere you get championships. You don't try to skip no championship. We don't run from nothing. We run through it.
So I have a gripe with
Listen,
Kirby.
man.
I got a gripe with Kirby because you're right. I mean, who doesn't want to be in the conference championship every single
Ole
year?
Miss,
Well,
some of my fan bases.
I don't get it, man. But I have beef with Kirby Smart right now, man. Kirby talked about how what was it? Basically, he'd love to see some of these other teams that are in the playoff come on down and play an SEC schedule. Kirby, who are you playing this weekend? Think it's UMass.
UMass.
Tennessee playing UTEP. South Carolina playing Wofford. Arkansas playing
I
Louisiana
can't talk.
Tech.
We played Mercer last week.
You played Mercer last week. This isn't even just at everybody. This is at every single P4 school has 1 to 2 cupcake games in there every year.
They like to call
Let's
it
not
get right
act
game.
let's not act like this isn't happening in the SEC. Because I can tell you, Georgia specifically. Let's pull up Georgia's schedule. Let's talk about it.
We ain't
Georgia
got that much time.
Bulldogs.
We already did that schedule. But Georgia's had to. Yeah, you know
Carson Beck is
look,
no, I know we did it. Carson Beck is
shout
not
out to
playing
Beck.
right.
He balled out against Tennessee. He had enough.
He did.
But dog,
Y'all played
look.
Tennessee Tech. Sit down.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm
don't
not going
talk
to
to me
question
about
or
that.
judge anybody's schedule that much. But the SEC, dog, we got a fun year, man. We got 8. I think it's an 8-way tie, basically an 8-win tie. Yeah, A&M and Texas are above. They're 1 and 2, but like winner of that game is going to go to the SEC championship game, and that's week 15. We're in week 13 right now, and the Iron Bowl still coming up. Georgia still might be on upset alert come that Georgia Tech game. The way Tech has been playing, shoot. Man, there ain't no telling, dog. Like it's gonna get crazy. The chaos is real. Hey, A&M got to go to Auburn, and Auburn ain't won a home game yet this year. I'm rooting against Texas A&M. I'm not rooting for Auburn, but I'm rooting against Texas A&M.
For sure.
That's just how it's gonna float for me. We're
Nobody
not
likes
rooting
A&M.
for Auburn. We're rooting against A&M.
You're
If you
welcome for
want to
beating.
make the SEC championship, and
You're
you
welcome for
should
beating
want to
LSU, by
make
the
the
way.
SEC championship, huh?
You're welcome for beating
Oh
LSU,
yeah,
by the way.
congrats on y'all win against LSU.
I'm not, and I'm not.
They down by in the Bayou.
Yes, they are, and I'm not fully sold on old. Speaking of Bayou, old Bayou Billy, I'm not super sold on him yet. He's cleaning up recruiting right now, which is nice and it's good to see.
You mean old Bayou Brian?
I'm talking about Billy Napier right now. I've
bad.
never been sold on Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's doing exactly what I thought he was going to do when he took this job. It's everything he's done every single school he's been to.
Yep.
This isn't new. This is classic Brian Kelly with his fake Southern accent. And I'll call it every time I see it. Also, his daughter went on some live thing and was like, these fans are mean. It goes, correct, because we're here to heckle you. And the easiest way to get to the coach is through you. It's not personal. It's the quickest avenue. It's just business. I'm sure you're a very nice person.
But we don't care.
For 4 hours, deal with it. I would expect nothing less if I was on the sideline in LSU. That's just how it is.
Translation, just shut up.
All right, let's talk Heisman. Old Jalen. Jalen in the chat was saying Travis Hunter for Heisman. Let's talk about it. No. Absolutely not. And here's why. And that's not to say Travis is not a talented player. Give me Ashton Genty for Heisman. Don't give me Travis Hunter. Give me Ashton Genty. I don't care what his snap count is. It's fantastic he can play both ways. He's doing what hasn't been done in a very long time. And I absolutely think he should get votes and he should be in the conversation. But it has been a very long time since a running back has been doing what Genty is doing. I said it.
That's not even
Yeah, that's not, I mean, I'm not even disrespectful towards Colorado. I think Travis Hunter is an incredible ball player, and I can't wait to see him at the next level.
I know you're not being disrespectful to Colorado. I
Yeah.
can acknowledge that. I understand you're smart. You're not like you're not go, you learn your lesson from this off season. The
For those
dog.
who don't know, I took it in stride. Listen to the last episode, and I'll say it again. I was wrong about Colorado. I had
Yep.
Joe going 6-6. Right now, you're on pace to go 10-2, and I hope you do. I really do. Please
But
prove me
dog,
wrong.
what Travis Hunter is doing, it ain't about the snap counts. What is he doing for? What is he doing with the snap counts?
What is Ashton
Yo,
Jinty doing?
he has the third best coverage rate by like PFF at cornerback. He's one of the top receivers in the nation. Explosive at that. And you just like I know that stat that you saw. Yeah. A lot of snap counts. I get that. But it's what are you doing with them? They're not going to win a lot of those games that they have won if it wasn't for him. Because of what he's doing on both sides of the ball and the energy that he's bringing. Because what energy, locker room, it matters.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes like having the right personnel together, which is why Prime cleaned house. And a lot of people criticize that move. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But
Sorry.
what Travis Hunter is doing, you're making the plays, you're getting touchdowns. And again, they don't win a lot of those games if it wasn't for what you're doing, for your contributions. And because he's doing something that we have not seen in a very long time, and they're winning, he's going to win the Heisman. And add that on because he's having moment after moment after moment after moment. Especially if they win that conference championship, that Heisman's going to Colorado.
See, I don't, and this is not a shot at Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter's an incredible player. I think he is absolutely he's an incredible player. He's doing something we haven't seen in a very long time. That being said, statistically, is not playing at a level like Ashton Jinty is.
We understand.
Do you know how many touchdowns?
He's about to break a record.
Do you know how many touchdowns Ashton Jinty has? Just rushing. Just rushing. Because I'll tell you, he might be at 34 total touchdowns. He's at 26 rushing touchdowns. 26. If these were passing stats for touchdowns, just for argument's sake, he would be in the top 5 if we're talking passing touchdowns. The only people who have more touchdowns than him are Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, Chandler Morris, and that's it. The people behind him are Cade Klubnik and the Washington State quarterback, which are both at 26. If you want to go into rushing, yeah, and that's just, those are guys who are supposed to have 26 touchdowns. This man has 26 touchdowns. He is 400 yards ahead of the next closest guy, who only has 8 less carries. He's averaging 7 yards a carry, 26 touchdowns. We can even get a receiving. If we're looking at receiving touchdowns, he's still doing good. He's still doing great. I'm trying to find where he's at. Like it to me, and I'll pull up his receiving stats and everything too, so we can see exactly how many total stats he's at. And this is not, again, with all due respect to Travis Hunter, he is not affecting this team to the degree that Jinty is. You think Boise State only has 1 loss if they don't have Ashton Jinty on their team?
Oh, no, they have more than one. We understand his impact on that one. But here's the thing. They're going to judge you by level of competition as well. Now, if you want to say power wins, yeah, played Oregon. I'll give you that. And he showed up on that one as well.
Absolutely.
But I think because of that stage and that story that Colorado's on and the amount of hatred that they have, they're winning, dog. And they're going to a conference championship. Is Boise State going to a conference championship?
Yes.
What is theirs?
Mountain West.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
They're 9-1. They are 9-1. Their only loss is to the number 1 team in the country. That's my point.
I still think it's Travis.
And again, if Travis wins it, it's because he contributes on offense and defense.
Especially if they win that conference championship, because nobody had that expectation.
And that's my thing. If Travis wins it, it will solely be because of his contributions on defense as well as offense. You know where he's sitting at for receiving yards?
What's up?
14th.
Who?
Travis Hunter, 14th in receiving yards.
Yep. Where's he sitting at passing touchdowns?
Passing touchdowns, he's sitting at 8.
All right.
Exactly. And if we want to go into defense, we can look at interceptions.
But you're also just going in statistics, and I get that concept.
No, really for sure. Look, no, and I'm not trying to be a box score guy.
It's a two-man race. We understand that.
It is.
And it doesn't matter what Jalen Milroe does at the end of the season. Doesn't matter what Daniel Gabriel does at the end of the season. Cam Ward. It's a two-man race in this between those players, and it should be.
Absolutely.
Look, and Genty, he's gonna win Dope Walker. He's gonna win a lot of awards. But it's Travis. All right, got anything else?
Nah, man, I'm good. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up our shout outs that we do at the end of every week. But I mean, I don't think it's Travis. I think it goes to Genty. It absolutely should, in my opinion, because I feel like Genty has had the bigger impact on the team. And again, I'll say it for the 5th time. No disrespect towards Travis Hunter. He's an incredible player, and he will be taken to the top 3 of the next draft. Absolutely. But I still think it's Genty. And that is taking into effect everything great that Travis Hunter has done. But earlier in this year, Genty was on pace to break a record that hasn't been touched. And it was Barry Sanders' record.
Yeah, but
he's not going to break it.
Nobody ever thought we would see a player like Travis Hunter outside of a video game.
I mean, we've had two-way players, have we not?
Yes, and we've had great running backs win Heisman's, have we not?
For sure. No, for sure. And again, we can nitpick this all day. It is a two-man race. You think it's Travis Hunter. I think it's going to be Genty.
And simple as that. You got your shout-outs?
Yeah, let's do some shout-outs, man. Thank you guys for listening. We really do appreciate it. Thank you guys in the comments for jumping in. Jim, Jalen, Devin, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Devin got here a little bit late, man, but thank you for tuning in so last minute. We're about to close on out. Thank you guys for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you like the show, and you want to listen to the podcast, if you're listening to this live, go check out the podcast side of things, rate it 5 stars. If you missed the show or you got here late, or if you want to listen to it all the way back, find us on whatever podcast platform you listen to. We're there. If you like it, rate 5 stars, comment, whatever that is. Feed the algorithm gods. I don't know why it works, but it does. Follow us on all the socials. We're at TDSN Pod on Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, everything. We're TDSN Pod on all of it. Check it out. Let us know. If you didn't like the show, here's what I always say. Treat it like a bad date. It's not us, it's you. It's not you, it's us. We'll pick up the tab for the hour of content. You go your way, we'll go ours. Thank you for the time, and thank you for giving us a shot. But retweeting the show, sharing the show, and all that fun stuff like that, rating 5 stars will get you a shout out at the end of the show, or if you're a show that we'd like to work with as well, I think you'll like. But go check out Jim at Fan of the Van. Him and I do another show called Steel and Teal Talk. It's just Jaguars and Steelers based for the most part. Go check out the 1420 Sports Podcast. The guys at the BSC Sports Podcast. Aaron at Brutally Honest Sports. Darren of A Chill Takes. Go find him on Twitch. He's on TikTok too. Go find him. We love him. Darren, but we got to get you on the show again. Go check out IAP Radio, the Average Road Sports Podcast with E-Man. Him and Jim do a show called Cigar and Sports. Go check it out. Go check out Sports After Dark. Please go check out Sports After Dark. We love everybody over there. Always good content, always a good time. I've been kind of absent lately just because I've been insanely busy, but I want to get back, and I will be back in there. Don't worry. If you're a wrestling fan, whether you're a casual fan or a super fan or anywhere between, go check out John at Wrestling Fan Insight. If you're looking to gamble, please gamble responsibly. Gamble with house money, not bet your house. Gamble with money you're okay with losing, and go listen to Nate's Daily Wager. Thank you. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Peace.